The Starborn Relic. Part 1, The Scholar's Quest. Beneath the vast canopy of the cosmos, where stars burned like eternal lanterns, there was a city unlike any other. Myridil, the city of 1,000 spires, was a kingdom of scholars, alchemists, and sorcerers. Its libraries stretched for miles, its towers scraped the heavens, and its rulers were not kings, but keepers of ancient knowledge. Among them was Edrin Vale, a young historian with an insatiable thirst for discovery. Edrin was no warrior. He carried no sword, knew no battle spells, and held no noble title. What he possessed instead was an unrelenting curiosity and a mind sharper than any blade. His life was devoted to the pursuit of lost wisdom, hidden secrets buried in time. He had spent years poring over forgotten manuscripts, deciphering ancient riddles, until one fateful evening, he uncovered something extraordinary. A passage, buried deep within the Codex of Illyrian, spoke of an artifact lost to the world, the Starborn Relic, said to be crafted from a fallen star and imbued with celestial power. Legends told of its ability to bend fate itself, to open pathways between worlds, and to grant dominion over time. Many had searched for it, and all had failed. But Edrin found something no one else had. A clue. A forgotten map, hidden in plain sight within the Codex. If the map was to be believed, the relic lay entombed in the ruins of Valta, an ancient city swallowed by the sands of the Crimson Expanse. And so, his quest began. The journey into the sands. Edrin knew he could not embark on this journey alone. The Crimson Expanse was cursed, its dunes haunted by spirits and creatures of shadow. He needed a guide. He needed protection. Fate, it seemed, had prepared both for him. At a tavern on the outskirts of Myridil, he found Kyelan Drayden, a roguish treasure hunter draped in a weathered coat of black and silver. Kyelan had seen more tombs and cursed relics than any scholar dared to imagine. He had stolen from warlords, outwitted sorcerers, and survived places where men simply vanished. For a price, he agreed to accompany Edrin. But another force was at play. The moment Edrin set foot beyond the city walls, a shadow stirred in the depths of the arcane. Lady Sapphira, the moonborn sorceress, had been watching. A woman of eerie beauty and unnatural grace, she wielded magic drawn from lunar tides. She, too, sought the Starborn Relic. But her purpose was not knowledge, it was power. She believed the relic would grant her dominion over the celestial balance, tipping fate itself in her favor. Her spies whispered of Edrin's discovery. And so, she moved her pieces into place. The Curse of the Ruins. Through storm and sand, Edrin and Kyelan braved the Crimson Expanse. They fought off raiders, evaded monstrous sand wraiths, and followed the map's cryptic markings until they reached the ruins of Valta. The ruins were not silent. The air was thick with whispers, shadows flickering where no light should be. At its heart stood an ancient temple, adorned with glyphs that pulsed with an eerie silver glow. As they stepped inside, the doors slammed shut behind them. A deep, resonant hum filled the chamber. The carvings on the walls shifted, reshaping into something new. A riddle. Born of night, I devour light, yet without me, sight takes flight. What am I? Edrin's heart pounded. The temple itself was testing them. He took a breath, closed his eyes, and whispered the answer. Darkness. The air shifted. The way forward revealed itself. But just as they stepped deeper into the temple, the walls trembled. A chilling laughter echoed. Lady Sapphira had arrived. And she was not alone. Part 2, The Sorceress's Gambit. The ancient temple trembled, dust and sand cascading from the towering stone arches as Lady Sapphira strode into the chamber. The moonborn sorceress was clad in flowing midnight blue robes, her silver hair gleaming like threads of starlight. Her piercing violet eyes locked onto Edrin and Kyellen with the cold calculation of a predator who had cornered her prey. Flanking her were the Veilborn, spectral warriors bound to her will, their forms wreathed in shifting shadows. They carried no weapons, for their very touch could sap the strength of the living. "You've done well to make it this far," Scholar Sapphira said, her voice like silk woven with steel. "But knowledge alone cannot save you now. Hand over the map. The relic belongs to me." Kyellen's hand hovered over the hilt of his curved dagger, his stance coiled like a viper ready to strike. Edrin, however, knew this was a battle they could not win, not by steel or spell. Instead, he clutched the medallion he had found within the temple, its ancient glyphs pulsing in response to Sapphira's presence. He had deciphered enough of the carvings to understand its purpose, a key, a test, and a warning. "This relic is more than just power," Edrin said. "It is bound to something greater than us. The texts warn of a guardian." A sudden quake rocked the temple, cutting him off. The glyphs across the walls ignited with an eerie, pulsating glow, casting shifting patterns of light across the chamber. From the depths of the temple, a voice thundered, not in words, but in raw, ancient intent. A guardian had awakened. The guardian of Valta. The very stones of the chamber rippled as something massive began to rise. From the center of the chamber, a monolithic figure emerged, a construct of celestial metal and enchanted stone, its form sculpted in the likeness of a titan long forgotten. Its eyes blazed with twin orbs of white fire, and its voice reverberated through the chamber. "Who dares seek the relic of the heavens?" The Veilborn recoiled as the Guardian's presence flooded the room with pure energy, forcing them into the shadows. Sapphira's expression darkened, her hands weaving intricate sigils in the air as she prepared a spell. Edrin stepped forward, the medallion still clutched in his hand. "We seek knowledge," he said, his voice steady despite the overwhelming presence before him. "I seek to understand the relic, not to claim its power for myself." The Guardian's gaze lingered on him, then shifted to Sapphira. A knowing silence fell. "You are unworthy," it finally spoke, directing its judgment upon the sorceress. "Your heart is shrouded in ambition, your soul bound to conquest. The relic was never meant for the likes of you." Sapphira snarled. "Then I will take it by force." With a single motion, she unleashed a storm of lunar fire upon the Guardian. The temple roared with arcane fury as magic clashed with celestial steel. The Guardian staggered but did not fall. It raised a colossal hand, summoning a surge of white flame that lashed toward Sapphira. The sorceress barely evaded, her Veilborn swarming forward to intercept. Kyellen seized the moment. "Scholar, now would be a good time to run." Edrin had already moved. He had deciphered more of the temple's inscriptions as the battle unfolded. The relic was hidden beyond the Guardian's chamber. But to reach it, they needed to solve the final riddle. The final trial. Dodging falling debris, the two sprinted through an archway revealed by the shifting walls. Behind them, Sapphira's fury echoed as she continued her battle with the Guardian. Before them stood a pedestal, upon which rested a golden sphere embedded with constellations that shimmered and shifted. Ancient runes surrounded it, forming the final riddle. "From the heavens I fell, yet to the heavens I call. To wield me is to walk between fate and choice. Speak my true name, and I shall awaken." Edrin's mind raced. The texts had hinted at this, hints buried in the Codex of Illyrian. The relic was born from the stars, a fragment of the celestial realm. His breath caught. The answer had been in front of him the entire time. He placed both hands on the sphere and whispered, "Astralis." The moment the word left his lips, the sphere pulsed. The chamber trembled as the golden sphere rose into the air, unfolding like petals into a radiant star-shaped crystal. The air shimmered with unseen energy as the relic fully revealed itself, a fragment of something greater, humming with raw, cosmic power. Kyle let out a low whistle. "Well, that's definitely worth a king's ransom." Before Edrin could respond, a chilling wind swept through the chamber. The shadows deepened, lengthened. And Sapphira stepped forth. The sorceress's betrayal. She was wounded, her robes tattered, but her eyes burned with unwavering resolve. The Guardian had not been able to stop her, at least, not completely. Dark energy coiled around her fingers, her form pulsing with unstable power. "You have no idea what you hold," she seethed. "That relic does not belong in the hands of a mere historian." Kyle stepped in front of Edrin. "Listen, Lady Moonlight, you're looking a little worse for wear. Maybe just let us." With a flick of her wrist, Sapphira unleashed a blast of shadow flame. Kyle barely dodged, rolling across the floor as the magic scorched the stone where he had stood. Edrin knew there was no reasoning with her now. He had to act. Summoning every ounce of courage, he grasped the relic. The moment his fingers closed around it, a wave of celestial energy surged through him. The inscriptions on the chamber walls flared, responding to the relic's presence. A voice, asterisk asterisk, not the Guardian's, but something older, deeper, asterisk asterisk, whispered into his mind. "Choose wisely, child of knowledge. The path you take will shape the stars themselves." Edrin closed his eyes and made his choice. Part 3, The Final Convergence. Edrin's fingers tightened around the Starborn Relic, its celestial energy pulsing through his very being. In that moment, he felt the vastness of the universe, the weight of time itself pressing upon him. The whispering voice of the relic resonated through his mind. "Choose wisely, child of knowledge. The path you take will shape the stars themselves." He knew there were only seconds before Sapphira struck again. The sorceress, still seething from her battle with the Guardian, raised her hands to unleash another wave of dark magic. Kyle, bruised but determined, scrambled to his feet and threw a dagger at her. It barely slowed her. The air crackled with unstable energy as Sapphira's incantation reached its peak. But Edrin had already made his choice. The relic's power unleashed. Drawing upon the relic's essence, he focused every ounce of his will. The ancient runes embedded in the chamber blazed to life, reacting to the power he had awakened. A pillar of white gold light erupted from the relic, engulfing the entire temple in its glow. For a moment, time itself seemed to fracture. Edrin saw glimpses of the past, Valta, the lost city, before it had crumbled to dust. He saw the Starborn Relic's creators, celestial beings draped in starlight, forging it as a gift to the mortal realm. He saw Sapphira, centuries ago, a young scholar just like him, her heart once filled with curiosity before it was twisted by ambition. Then he saw the future, two possibilities. One where Sapphira claimed the relic and reshaped the world in her image, plunging it into an age of arcane tyranny. One where the relic's true power was restored, returning balance to the world, but at a cost only he could pay. The visions faded as the light receded, and Edrin found himself once more in the temple, the relic glowing with pure cosmic energy in his hands. The confrontation. Sapphira staggered back, momentarily blinded by the light. When her eyes focused on Edrin, something shifted in her expression. For the first time, doubt flickered across her face. "What have you done?" she demanded, voice shaking. Edrin exhaled slowly. "I've seen the truth. You were never meant to wield this power." She let out a bitter laugh. "And you think you are? You're nothing but a historian. A seeker of dead knowledge. What gives you the right?" "The relic itself." The runes in the temple continued to pulse, as if in agreement. Sapphira hesitated, just long enough for Kyle to act. In a blur of motion, the rogue lunged, knocking the sorceress off balance. Sapphira hissed in rage, but before she could retaliate, Edrin channeled the relic's energy once more. A surge of celestial force ripped through the chamber, shattering the Veilborn warriors that lingered in the shadows. Sapphira screamed as the energy surrounded her, not destroying her, but stripping away the dark power that had corrupted her for so long. Her form flickered, silver light warring against the darkness within her. And then, with a final cry, she collapsed to the ground, unconscious. Kyle panted, glancing at Edrin. "Remind me never to make you angry." Edrin didn't answer immediately. His gaze was fixed on the relic, which now pulsed with a single word written across its surface. "Return." The sacrifice. Edrin understood. The relic was never meant to remain in mortal hands. It was a piece of the cosmos itself, and keeping it in this world would only lead to more conflict. He had the power to end it, to ensure it was never misused again. But the cost. If he returned the relic to its celestial origin, he would not return. Kyle saw the look in his eyes. "No. Absolutely not. There has to be another way." "There isn't." Edrin turned to him, forcing a small smile. "You always said you weren't the noble type. Looks like I'll have to be." Kyle clenched his fists, but deep down, he knew there was no stopping him. "Damn it, scholar." With a final nod, Edrin stepped forward. The relic pulsed once more, the temple walls shimmering as reality itself began to bend around him. The voice of the relic whispered its final words. "Well done, child of knowledge. Your story shall be written among the stars." A final flash of light, and he was gone. The legacy. The temple collapsed in the wake of the relic's departure, but Kyle barely noticed. He was too busy staring at the empty space where Edrin had stood. Then, slowly, he let out a breath. "You better be out there somewhere, scholar." From that day forth, Edrin Vale's name was legend. Some claimed he had ascended to the heavens, becoming one with the cosmos. Others believed he would return one day, when the world needed him most. Kyle, now a changed man, devoted himself to ensuring no one ever sought the relic again. And as for Sapphira, when she awoke, free of the darkness that had once ruled her, she set off on a journey of her own. The story of the Starborn Relic was over. But the echoes of its light would never fade. The end.